Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. We see silver rising every single day more and more. $18.20 range right now. It's really strong right now for silver. The rally is still going good. It's in a 4-week-old uptrend, and I'm definitely bullish on prices. We're starting to build some ground on this $18 level where the support levels are not falling below that. So this means that when it does start to really pick up, we're going to see extremely high prices without any type of bottom. And the lowest bottom we're seeing is in low 18s, which is still extremely good compared to the previous bottoms, which are around that mid $17 range or even lower than that. So right now, silver's in a very, very good spot, setting up for a very big move. Also looking at gold as well, outperforming gold, looking at the standards, everything that's in line, whether it's China, U.S.-China trade negotiations not really falling through right now, stock market's still becoming volatile, and many other things as well. So yes, I'm definitely bullish on silver. Yes, I still think we can see $20 silver very, very soon. And especially going into the holidays, there's going to be a lot more media attention on it. Everyone's inside watching more news, articles, blogs will be written, especially once prices start to escalate. It's going to be bringing more momentum in. Now, I made a video earlier today talking about the manipulation or the type of spoofing that's going on and how the courts actually ruled this to be illegal, and people are already becoming or getting arrested for this. Three of JP Morgan's employees, but now they're going back the last 10 years and finding other companies as well. I think it was the Dutch Bank and JP Morgan were the two that they mentioned, but it's going to be an ongoing pursuit, and hopefully they put an end to this, because whether you like it or not, gold and silver should be a lot higher than this, but a lot of this manipulation, this spoofing, is keeping it in a bubble for prices not to expand at their natural rates. And I'm curious to what extent this really is bringing prices down. I mean, if you think about it, something as little as, I mean, it's not little, but something as, in comparison, something as little as the U.S.-China trade negotiations could boost prices that much higher. So think about someone who's spoofing millions or billions of dollars in an exchange, holding prices back. Think about where that could go or how that could affect prices. Now, I'm curious where you guys think silver's natural price should be. I definitely think it should at least be in the $50-$60 range if gold is at its current price. If gold was higher, then obviously silver would be higher, because I think the ratio should be around 30 to 1, 40 to 1, and that's still giving a lot of leeway, a lot of slack. Honestly, it should only be around 12 to 1. Historically, it was around 2 to 1, 2.5 parts silver equals 1 part gold, but over time it got to around that 12 to 1 ratio, where they thought that was equal, or that was fair enough, since silver came out of the ground roughly 8 to 1. But over time we built this stigma around gold as the royal metal, so that's kind of why gold is so much more expensive now. But looking at it realistically, it's kept silver in this undervalued perspective, where the media, the everyday person that buys gold jewelry, gold necklaces, still view it as that, so they're willing to pay those higher prices. But that also puts a negative connotation on silver, making it think, or making it seem like silver is not worth anything, but it really is. And that's why silver is so cheap, and that's why you should be buying it and investing into it right now. Silver has so many opportunities. I definitely think we're going to start seeing this more and more as media covers it, as people get educated on these markets, because once people start seeing that you can make money in silver, they'll start investing into it. And then once they start getting their feet in the water, I think that's when some of the rest of it's going to fall into place, when people realize where its true value is, because the true value of silver is still undervalued, even when I say it should be worth that $50-$60 range. I mean, think about that. So right now, U.S.-China trade negotiations going bad, which I don't think they're ever going to clear up, especially anytime soon. FOMC, the Federal Reserve, cutting interest rates, they only cut down 0.25%. Didn't really affect prices too much. Stock market volatility is definitely one of the bigger influences that will be pushing prices around, but also the dollar index. I think the dollar index is one of the key things that we kind of look over, because every time the dollar index is high, gold and silver is low. Anytime the dollar index is low, we see gold and silver being pricey. I mean, that's just how it works. It's almost like a magnet, this push and pull mechanism. Actually, for the first time in a while, which actually rarely happens, we saw both of them rising at the same time, which is a really big red flag for something was going wrong. And I made a video explaining why that happened, but obviously that's not happening anymore. Things are definitely changing quicker. But I really do want to revert back to this manipulation, because if we can start to put a handle on these people spoofing and all this manipulating price going on behind the scenes, these crooks like J.P. Morgan and Merrill Lynch, I think that it's not only going to help the market for silver and precious metals, but all assets. I mean, in the article, they even mentioned this is happening on all around all platforms. Even real, they compared it to real estate. They said, well, there's spoofing going on in real estate when someone tries to tell a buyer or potential buyer what the housing price is and shooting the price up. But that's not true, because it's a whole it's entire different perspective, and even the courts agreed. I could agree saying that I have a buyer that's willing to pay this price, but there is no real buyer behind it. But that's a whole different level when you're on an exchange, when you're not face to face with someone that's looking at the exchange or the market, thinking that someone's placing these orders that's going to follow through with it, and then they cancel. So it's a completely different mind state and perspective, and I'm glad that the courts see this. But I really do hope they start to put some regulations, some type of, some type of punishment or something in place that's going to allow people to have consequences and to think before they do this again. Because if this keeps going the rate it is, gold and silver could stay in a bubble for a very long time. And when this bubble bursts, yes, it's going to be very profitable and beneficial to us stackers. But to what extent or to what cost is it affecting other markets or even gold and silver as itself? I mean, investors, it's going to be a very confusing, fluctuating, a lot of volatility, and it could push people away from precious metals, because it is becoming more speculative than ever right now. I definitely think I haven't seen silver and gold this speculative, how they're so wishy-washy off of this emotional attachment, as I have in the previous 7 years of me investing into it, which is not good. It could be good for prices, but you have to think of a bigger perspective, the bigger picture, and it's really not a good thing. I mean, if you don't care about it, if you're in it for the short term, yes, it could be good because you can capitalize off that. But if you really want gold and silver to be something bigger than just a quick flipping dollar, then yes, this is not good news. You don't want something to be speculative. You want it to have some type of foundation or fundamental approach that gives it, a base, a bottom to stand on, to where even if someone calls silver a scam, or even if someone is manipulating prices, it still has some growth upon it, which I think the industrial uses and how they're finding out new uses scientifically, discovering the benefits silver brings, and the industrial demand coming in is going to definitely help that. But to what extent? And it's always that question, is to what extent? What extent are these prices being influenced by manipulation? To what extent are these prices being influenced from stock market volatility, from the trade negotiations, to the surplus, supply and demand, industrial demand? To what extent? That's something that you're never going to know the answer to. All you can do is apply, what your best guesses into it, and to incorporate that to the price prediction, and hopefully you get somewhat of a relevant or close outcome. And sometimes the better, or the longer you do this, the better you get at it, and the more you can kind of wrap your head around what's going on in the context behind the scenes to apply that. But that's just my speak on it, or my thought on it. But I definitely think $20 silver is going to be coming sooner than later. It's already mid-18s. We're going to see $19 soon. There might be a small correction, but it's going to keep going up, just like there was a correction a couple weeks ago and a couple months ago. Just like when it was in the $19.50 range, it corrects back down, because there's sell-offs. People are going to take some profits, especially coming the holidays. They might want to spend some Christmas money, so they might sell off. But also, this is when all the deals come, so there's going to be a nice, large demand into the markets as well. Maybe some new investors, some new money, some new flow, and that would also spark a higher rise in demand with the supply diminishing. Who knows what that could do as well. So that's just some things to think about. I am curious where you guys think silver is going to lie within the next month. I'm definitely on the more $19, $20 side compared to the $17, $18 side. Right now, I still think $18 might sit for a second, but I definitely think it's going to pick up as the media starts to, starts to get involved in this and really start showing people what silver can do. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, If you did, make sure to smash that like button. Liking these videos definitely helps out a lot. It's the best way to support the channel. You could also check out my merchandise store. It's in the link is in the description. It's a great way to, express your love for precious metals in an affordable and fashionable manner. It's another great way to support my channel. I design all those t-shirts and stuff by myself. I try to make them look cool so you guys will be able to wear something you actually enjoy, and also spreads the logo, or the the message that precious metals are key, like the Why Silver or Got Silver shirts, and the I Heart Silver mugs and the I Heart Silver shirts. I definitely think you guys will enjoy them. But anyways, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new, because I do post daily videos. I post 3 videos a day, 2 to 3 videos a day, and I definitely think it's important to be educated and informed on a day-to-day basis where prices are headed. And I will be putting in the work to make sure you guys are always in the loop. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.